Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Kesubos daf Iyun Tet, number 79. The Gemara talks here about Nichsei Maluk. That's what we're talking about, our Nichsei Maluk, as well as Nichsei Barzel, which we don't really have nowadays, where people write in the Kesuva, I'm giving you a certain amount of money and I want it back, or at least most of it back when we get divorced, or when you die, the husband dies, my Yorshim should be entitled to that. By Nichsei Maluk, it's not exactly like that. If she doesn't write anything about the rest of her property, she has a bank account, she has land, she has real estate, or even if it falls to her, she gets a Yerusha in the middle of the marriage, right? So that's called Nichsei Maluk, which is the Baal Ochel Peiros. That's Midoraisa, I think it is. The Baal Ochel Peiros, he's entitled to the Peiros. That's part of marrying her in the Nisuin, the Kinyan Nisuin, he's Kona the Peiros. Now it means, right, Isho Kagufo means that she's like his body. Now it's not right, that you're Kona the goof of an Evid, but at Isha Gufa they share a goof. So the goof, right, he owns part of her, their shutfim in that. She maintains the value of the land, right, whatever land, the real estate she brought, or the money, the principal amount of the money, the principal she retains. However, the payros, the appreciation, belongs to the husband, right, because Isha Gufo and Masha Kana Isha Kana Baila. The payros belong to her. I think payros is the rice. I think Mike Yadel is the rice. A woman can't say, Eini Nizonis Veini Osi. A Baal could say, right, Su Mike Yadel Mizonos Secha. He could say, I'm giving up for going Mike Yadel. I'm not going to give you Mizonos. He's in charge. That's how we paskin. So her wages belong to Midaraisa. Her payros belong to Midaraisa. And she's forced to, if she brings in money, technically the husband can force her to buy real estate so that there should be appreciation. Money in the bank account will always depreciate because of inflation. So therefore, he wants to put an investment to buy land or buy houses or to buy things which will appreciate in value, and he has the right to do that. He has a payros. However, there's one thing that's a little not talked about so much, and that is really the third part, what it talks about Daf Mem Zayin, of Ksuvasa. He inherits her Ksuba. What exactly does it mean he inherits her Ksuba? Ksubasa tachas kvurasa, right? Because he inherits her Ksuba, they're masakin, that he has to pay for her burial if she dies. He has to pay for a burial. He has to pay for a respectful burial where he has proper eulogizers and proper people playing the flute or the trumpets, whatever they're playing, to give her a quarter of proper honor during her funeral. But she gets her ksuba. Now, what is her ksuba? Now, her ksuba obviously includes the mono masayim, meaning he doesn't have to pay mono masayim, right? He guarantees her in the ksuba that if, right, the marriage ends in divorce, or I die first, I'm paying your ksuba, right? 100 or 200 zuz, right? And the tosefes ksuba we talked about, any money you want to add on. But also, Nichsei Maluk. Nichsei Maluk is the ksuvasa. So he's not really inherited. If she were to die first, right? He's not inheriting the ksuba and the sefes ksuba. She doesn't have to pay it, right? Doesn't have to pay. He never gave her the money. She's owed the money. She has a star to collect the mono masayim and the tosefes, but he's not really. He wasn't coned out with Nisu, and he's obligated to pay it at the end of the marriage if he divorces her or he dies first. But right, if she dies first, he's not yorish that. And when you say the husband is yorish or midoraisa, the husband is yorish his husband and his wife, and yorish her ksuba. What we're talking about is Nichsei Maluk. He's talking about he's yorish or Nichsei Maluk. Therefore, if she dies first, besides the fact that during her lifetime he's ochel peiros, right? He's entitled to the peiros, and he's entitled to make sure that her property appreciates in value. She still holds on to the gufa karka because the keren, the value, the reshus is still in her reshus. However, if she were to die first, he inherits her ksuba, which is the nichsei maluk, which is the gufa karka, right? If she had real estate and she dies first, it doesn't go to her yarshim. It goes to him. That's part of the ksuba. That's what I mean. Yorish ksuvasa, which is dalraisa. It says on Brisa he's matamil, right? He's matami to her if he's a kohen, and also yarsha. It says yarsha in the Brisa. One of the things the husband is entitled to when he consummates the kinyan of nisuin, he brings her under the chuppah. He's entitled to Yerusha ksuvasa, and that's the third thing he's entitled to dalraisa. And that's the principle of the land. The land itself, the gufa karka, belongs to him. So he's entitled to two things: the payros, that her nichsei maluk, it has to be done in a way where it'll appreciate in value, he'll benefit from it during the marriage. And if she dies first, he's yorish the entire nichsei maluk, the gufa karka. It doesn't go to her yorshim; it goes to him, to the husband. That's an important part to figure out over here. Of course, we want to make it during the marriage that's appreciated in value, but he also is entitled to uh, the Karen, the principal, as long as she dies. That's one of the things that the husband is entitled to, and that's this whole daf really. Iyun Tes 79 talks about that. We want both things to be intact. We want to make sure that he's going to get the payros during her life, and also even if the payros are gone somehow, or the Karen is gone, it has to be that you only can hold on to the Karen if there'll be something left remnant for him to inherit. Right? We're talking about trees that that can be cut down and they won't regenerate, or things like that, or animals that might die, or shvachos that might die if they're old. Right? I talked about Iyun Tes base. So it has to be in a way where they'll still remain alive. There's a chance they'll remain alive. So therefore, he's entitled not just to the payros, but also to the Karen, to make sure that if she were to die, he has the principal also, because that's the second thing that he gets as part of marrying her. He gets three things: he gets her wages, he gets her payros during her life, and he gets a karka. Now they're masakin in Usha. In Usha, they're masakin that if she were to sell the gufa karka, she's allowed. The gufa karka, the principal belongs to her, she can sell it during the marriage. Right? So we said in our Mishnah on Iyun Ches that the husband is entitled to take out the payros from the lakuchas. However, he's not entitled to the gufa karka. So because kinyan payros is lav kinyan guftam and positive shlakish, therefore her sale of the Karen, the principal, is valid, and technically even after the marriage she can't remove it from the mishubadim, the people she sold it to. That's why they're masakin in Usha, that after she dies, the Rabbanan, he's able to take out even the gufa karka, which he's entitled to. If she didn't sell it, of course, midar raksa, it would go to him. That's implied by Takana Susha, and that's just a summation of practical halachas of Nichsei Malug, which is very practical because, we don't write Nichsei and Barzal like Suba nowadays. Every asset that a woman has going into the marriage, the husband's entitled to make sure that it appreciates and gets that appreciation during the marriage. And if she to die first, he inherits her entire bank account, whatever she wanted to the marriage, that goes to the husband after she dies. Now, if the husband dies first, or he divorces her, so then, right, he doesn't inherit that. But if she die first, then he inherits as Yorshak Suvasa. That's what we mean. Nichsei Malug, the Karen of Nichsei Malug. Hope you enjoyed today's share. I think it was really explanatory. See you in the next one.